Hey my friends, welcome to video 4 of module 6. In this video, I'm going to show you how we use the word her, like a native speaker, with the verbs to listen to talk to speak to, and to explain to. Ready? First rule, first simple idea. With these 4 verbs, always must have the word to before her. Simple, always. To speak to talk to listen to explain to. These are some of the biggest mistakes I have with my students, especially with the verbs to listen and to explain. My students say, listen me. Can you explain me? No, it's explain to me. Listen to me. This is the first rule, okay? Now, the difference here of to speak and to talk, they are very, very similar. First difference is we say to speak a language, never to talk a language for some reason. The second difference is to speak is a little bit more formal. For example, the president will speak at the conference. In this case, it's not so appropriate or correct to say the president will talk at the conference. It's not so formal. Talk is more informal, you know. Can I talk to you? Is it okay? Can we talk? Very informal. Now, to listen to someone, again, you must have to. To listen to music, to listen to someone. Do you have this mistake? Many students have this mistake. Always using to with listen, okay? Listen to someone, something. It's the idea, giving your attention to something, right? If you are watching this video, you are listening to me, I hope. Now, the pronunciation is interesting because the correct spelling is L-I-S-T-E-N. But the pronunciation is really listen, not listen. Listen. Listen to me. So listen to me, you, him, her, us, or them. Now, these are the mistakes. Listen me. Listen to me. I wasn't listening her. I wasn't listening to her. Alright? Again, here with the verb to explain, we will have different ways. Now, for example, the best way is to explain, and the next part to explain it, to explain this, that, the problem, the situation, and always use the word to. To explain this to me, to you, to him, to her, to us, to them. Got it? Can you explain me? No. Can you explain to me? I need to explain to her the situation. Okay? Now, here's an example of he will speak to her will become he will speak to her. I'm going to talk to her. I'm going to explain it to her. Listen to her. So now it's to her. He will speak to her. Talk to her. Explain it to her. Listen to her. You got it? So these are little disappearing letters, and this is why listening is so difficult. Because you are listening for her, and we are pronouncing talk to her. Explain it to her. Okay? So let's try some simple examples showing the verbs to speak, to talk, to explain, to listen, and how we use it with her, and how we're going to train that nice native pronunciation. Ready? He did not listen to her. He never listens to her. He didn't listen to her. He never listens to her. He didn't listen to her. He never listens to her. I did not see her yesterday, so I did not talk to her. I didn't see her yesterday, so I didn't talk to her. I didn't see her yesterday, so I didn't talk to her. I didn't see her yesterday, so I didn't talk to her. He has to explain that to her when he sees her. He has to explain that to her when he sees her. He has to explain that to her when he sees her. He has to explain that to her when he sees her. You should not listen to her. She is wrong. You shouldn't listen to her. She's wrong. You shouldn't listen to her. She's wrong. I will speak to her tomorrow when I see her in the afternoon. I will speak to her tomorrow when I see her in the afternoon. I'll speak to her tomorrow when I see her in the afternoon. They did not explain everything to her. They didn't explain everything to her. They didn't explain everything to her. They didn't explain everything to her. Alright my friends, that ends this video. I'm going to see you in the next video where I'm going to start talking about the important verbs of to send, to give, and to show. Alright my friends, see you there. Hey my friends, we continue looking at the word her to with three really essential verbs now. To send, to give, and to show. Let's go. Three essential verbs. To give, to show, and to send. This is what I'm interested in now. I want to show you the differences in these two examples. One example we have to give her the money or to give the money to her. What's the difference and why? Now, we look again here with send her an email, to send an email to her, to send her the DVD, or to send the DVD to her. What is important is about where we put the object in the sentence. When I say the object, I mean the words the DVD. Here, for example, the DVD is at the end of the sentence, so that the show and her are connected, that there's no to in between, right? To show her the DVD. But when we change the position of the DVD, if we put it after the verb, now we need the preposition to show the DVD to her. Okay? Now, there's really no difference in meaning. They are exactly the same. The only one difference is native speakers, we prefer to send her an email. It's perfectly correct and perfectly possible to say send an email to her, but it's just more common to say to send her an email. Now let's look here at what happens to the word her. I'm going to send her an email, he's going to give her a present, and you can show her the room, right? It's the same thing again, that we've got two words, send her, give her, show her, all becoming sender, giver, shower. Got it? So let's see some nice examples using the verbs send, give, and show with the word her and training that nice native pronunciation. Let's go. If you have time, could you send her all the images tomorrow? If you have time, could you send her all the images tomorrow? If you have time, could you send her all the images tomorrow? Did they have to give her what she was asking for? Did they have to give her what she was asking for? Did they have to give her what she was asking for? Did they have to give her what she was asking for? Would you be able to show her the room tomorrow? Would you be able to show her the room tomorrow? Would you be able to show her the room tomorrow? Would you be able to show her the room tomorrow? Did you have time to send her the email? Did you have time to send her the email? Did you have time to send her the email? Did you have time to send her the email? Did you have time to send her the email? Is it possible to give her more time? Is it possible to give her more time? Is it possible to give her more time? I am not going to be able to show her what to do until tomorrow. I'm not going to be able to show her what to do until tomorrow. I am not going to be able to show her what to do until tomorrow. I'm not gonna be able to show her what to do till tomorrow. I'm not gonna be able to show her what to do till tomorrow. Okay, my friends, that ends this video. In the next video, I want to focus on how we're using give and then the object and then to her. Okay? See you there, guys. Hey my friends, in the last video I talked about using the word her with to give and to send. I told you that sometimes we can say to give her the book, give the book to her. So let's see more examples of how we use the two different structures in sentences. Let's go. So 2 examples, and let's just look again. One example is to give her the money and to give the money to her. In one example, we need the word to, and the other example, we do not. So this is the kind of structure we can use. It's like to give it to me, to show this to her, to send the problem to me, to him, to us, right? And here we can see, for example, to send her the PDF. The object or the thing, the PDF, is at the end of the sentence. So here, where show and her, they are connected, right? It's all about the PDF, the object. Where is it in the sentence? In the next example here, we change where the PDF is in the sentence. We put the PDF after the verb, not the end of the sentence, to send the PDF to her. The moment you change the position of the object, you must introduce the word to in front of her, right? Another example here is to send it to her. To send it to her. The object or this pronoun comes after the verb. Here I can send it to her. I can send it to her. We're going to give the keys to her. We're going to give the keys to her. You can show the room to her. You can show the room to her. Okay? So it's all about where in the sentence is the object. So let's train some nice examples looking at how we can use the to and changing the object and train that nice native speaking pronunciation. Ready, my friends? I am going to have to try to send it to her tomorrow. I'm going to have to try to send it to her tomorrow. I'm gonna have to try to send it to her tomorrow. We can give those keys to her next week. We can give those keys to her next week. He does not need to show it to her. He doesn't need to show it to her. He doesn't need to show it to her. I never sent those files to her because they were not ready. I never sent those files to her because they weren't ready. I never sent those files to her because they weren't ready. I never sent those files to her because they weren't ready. When are they going to give it to her? When are they going to give it to her? When are they going to give it to her? When are they going to give it to her? They are going to need to show it to her today. They're going to need to show it to her today. They're going to need to show it to her today. They're going to need to show it to her today. Alright my friends, that ends this video. I'll see you in the last video of Module 6 when I'm going to talk about using her with prepositions and examples with different verbs. See you there my friends. Hey my friends, in this last video of Module 6, I just want to show you some examples with the word her, with prepositions and conjunctions and other examples. Let's go. So here we have a list of ideas. To do something for her, to agree with her, go with her, to work with her, complain about her, talk about her, or to look at her. So one idea here with a lot of prepositions is the idea of a schwa. And this is a letter and it's just like an it's a soft That the strong pronunciation of for is for. But when we speak quickly, it's fa, right? To do something for her, to do something for her, right? So for. He is not going to do it for her. He's not going to do it for her. He's not going to do it for her. He's not going to do it for her. To agree with her, to agree with her. To go or come with her, to go or come with her. To work with her, right? Always the disappearing H. I just do not agree with her. I just don't agree with her. I just don't agree with her. I just don't agree with her. She needs you to go 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 with her. I did not work with her for a long time. I didn't work with her for a long time. I didn't work with her for a long time. And I didn't work with her for a long time. I didn't work with her for a long time. To complain about her, to talk about her, to complain about her, talk about her. This is curious that really the T in about will start to push because we have H-E-R, but the H is silent. So complain about her, about her. Talk about her, alright? He is always complaining about her. He's always complaining about her. He's always complaining about her. Everybody is always talking about her. Everybody's always talking about her. Everybody's always talking about her. To look at her, to look at her, look at her, right? Looking at her, right? It's not look at her, but look at her. Do not look at her like that. Don't look at her like that. Don't look at her like that. Don't look at her. Don't look at her. Why is he looking at her? 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 Alright my friends, that ends Module 6. In the next one, I'm going to talk about the word him and how that becomes im, the disappearing H's. Alright? See you there, my friends. Welcome to Module 7, him to im. This module is very similar to the last module. In the last module, we saw how the word her, the H just disappears and becomes when we speak quickly. But we also saw a lot of the most essential verbs, specifically when do we use a preposition, when do we not use a preposition, like to, and when do we not use it. People have a lot of confusion with this, and we are going to continue with this idea in this module, but this time we're going to focus on the word him to im, the essential verbs, and now all the essential verbs in the past. We're going to see all the pronunciation of the past tense verbs with the word him to im. Okay? So let's start the first video with ask, call, and tell with the word him. Let's go. So again, just to repeat, just to be clear about when do we use the word him and when do we not. On the left, in the green, we have I, you, he, she, we, they, and the pronouns on the right, the me, you, her, him, us, and them. The idea of him is similar to her, is when we are talking about or referring to another person. This is why we use the pronoun. So let's focus on the word him. The first thing is that it's referring or talking to about a man, never a thing. I want to be clear about this because in some languages with things and objects we have masculine and feminine. And the word him in different languages translated can be used to talk about things and people. In English, it is only men. Men, people. Now, the other idea is we have the word him, but the word his is about possessive, right? It's my car, it's your car, it's his car. It's important to be clear about the difference. So when we use this him, we use it referring to or talking about a man, and native speakers, when we speak quickly, we don't pronounce the letter H. Here, for example, I can ask him, I can ask him. Try with me. Remember, participation is a big part of this course. I am going to tell him, I'm going to tell him. Can you call him? Can you call him? Right? Now remember, I know maybe in your language it's correct, but in English is to ask him, to tell him, to call him. Using the word to here is completely incorrect. Alright, we don't ask two people, we don't tell two people, we don't call two people. Just ask him, call him, tell him. Now, these verbs in the past, we have to ask is asked, to tell is told, to call is called. Here with the verb asked, it's very interesting because we are writing A-S-K-E-D, but the pronunciation is not an E-D. It's really the sound of a T. Asked. So go very, very slowly. Ask, asked. Tell in the present, in the past is told. Okay? You feel that? Oh, told. Right? Called, called. Now, I know you can see the ED, but really it's like an apostrophe D. It's like not called, but called. Got it? So let's see what happens when we have the word him. We have I asked him becomes I asked him. I asked him. We told him. We told him. They called him. They called him. Alright? You see what happens when we speak quickly? So let's practice some simple examples with ask, call, and tell, learning how we can use these verbs in the past, and the pronunciation of him will become im. Alright? Let's go. We told him, but he did not listen to us. We told him, but he didn't listen to us. We told him, but he didn't listen to us. We told him, but he didn't listen to us. We told him, but he didn't listen to us. I asked him if he wanted to come, but he said no. I asked him if he wanted to come, but he said no. I asked him if he wanted to come, but he said no. I asked him if he wanted to come, but he said no. When were you going to call him? When were you gonna call him? When were you gonna call him? When were you gonna call him? Then maybe we should not tell him. Then maybe we shouldn't tell him. Then maybe we shouldn't tell him. Maybe we shouldn't tell him. They had to call him for a second interview. They had to call him for a second interview. They had to call him for a second interview. They had to call him for a second interview. They had to call him for a second interview. He would help you if you asked him. 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 He'd 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 help you if you asked him. Okay, my friends, that ends this video. I'll see you in the next video. We're going to continue looking at the essential verbs, this time with to know, to meet, and to find. See you there, my friends. Hey my friends, in this video we're going to continue looking at the pronunciation of him to im with 3 essential verbs to know, to meet, and to find. Ready? 3 essential verbs that are similar but a little different. To meet, to know, and to find. If you remember from the last module, when we talk about to meet, it is the idea of a first time in your life or a specific time or place, right? To meet a person for the first time and to meet a person for a coffee. To know is a person familiar to you, right? I know people, I know my mother, I know my parents. And to find a person is when you don't know where the person is and you are searching. For example, in a bar with a lot of people or a big crowd or a concert or something. These 3 verbs in the past are meet, met, know, knew, find, found. The pronunciation of meet is that EE is a long sound. Meet. But met is very short. So it's long and short. Meet, met. Meet, met. Got it? To know is knew. To find is found. So let's see here what happens when we speak quickly. I met him yesterday. I met him yesterday. I never knew him. I never knew him. They found him. They found him. Okay? So this is what happens when those moments when we speak quickly. Let's see some simple examples for you to train using these 3 verbs with the pronunciation of the word him to im. Let's go. He died before I was born. I never knew him. He died before I was born. I never knew him. He died before I was born. I never knew him. They are going to have to meet him at the front entrance of the university. They're going to have to meet him at the front entrance of the university. They're gonna have to meet him at the front entrance of the university. They're gonna have to meet him at the front entrance of the university. They found him asleep on the sofa. They found him asleep on the sofa. They found him asleep on the sofa. I knew him years ago at university, but I haven't seen him in years. I knew him years ago at university, but I haven't seen him in years. I knew him years ago at university, but I haven't seen him in years. But I haven't seen him in years. His parents found him playing in the garden. His parents found him playing in the garden. His parents found him playing in the garden. Alright my friends, that ends this video. I'll see you in the next video to talk about to see, to hear, and to help. Alright my friends, I'll see you in the next video. Hey guys, in this video, we continue looking at the pronunciation of the word him to im, past tense verbs. And this time, we're going to see the verbs to see, to hear, and to help. Okay? Okay, to see, to hear, and to help. Simple verbs. The first thing about the verbs to see and to hear is that they are non-action verbs. What this means is simply you cannot use I am seeing him or I am hearing him. You will simply say I see him or I hear him. The verb help is an action verb, and yes, you can use ing with help in this case. So let's see these three verbs in the past. To see is saw, alright? That coming down, saw, like that. Train again. See, saw, right?